Hello, hello. Welcome to A Novel Console, your weekly podcast where we talk about books, games, food, and stuff that caught our attention during the week. My name is Chris, and with me is my beautiful co-host and fiancé, Karradyne.
Fiancé?
Fiancé.
What's that?
A fiancé.
That's not even how we say it in South Georgia.
It's a fiancé.
Makes me sound antsy. Kind of how I feel right now.
All right, so my beautiful co-host and fiancé, Karradyne. I said it again.
Karradyne.
What the fuck was that?
I'm experimenting.
With your intro?
Yes.
Okay. It's gonna be an interesting couple of weeks until you find yours.
My groove.
All right, before we start, I have something to tell you. I had a dream last night.
Oh my god.
I barely ever have dreams, and when I do, they are batshit.
They are elaborate as hell, and he remembers every detail.
I might have forgotten a little bit. I kept trying to think about it all day so that I wouldn't forget. So basically, I was you.
Me. He was me. Not you, the listener.
I was Karradyne, and I was in a Star Cruiser.
But tell them how you knew you were me.
Oh, because of your hair, and I could see your tattoos, and that's pretty much it. I recognize your hair and your tattoos and your hands. So I was in a Star Cruiser, and in the Star Cruiser, there were a lot of Disney characters, but they were real Disney characters. They weren't like puppets or fucking people dressed up in mascot costumes. And we were attacked by Xenomorphs.
Xenomorphs.
And
Alien.
They were in their own ship, and they were shooting us down. So they managed to shoot us down, and our ship crash landed in this beach paradise, because it was kind of like a rainforest, like beach paradise. And across from it, there was kind of like this dock, a shipyard with containers and whatnot. And I was running down the hallway after it crashed down. Well, Karradyne / I were running down the hallway after it crashed.
The hallway of the ship.
Yeah.
Not the beach paradise. Because
No,
beach paradises don't have hallways.
Exactly, in the ship. And I got to a port that had busted open, and I looked down, and I see this large fall all the way down the side of the ship to the water. And I see that there's a dinghy, and I see Goofy swimming towards the dinghy. I say, Goofy, hey, bring it over here. I need to jump on it because I don't know if there's rocks in the bottom if I jump into the water. And he says, hold on, I don't know how to work this. And then Donald swims up and he says, I'll help you.
You need to do it in a Donald voice.
I can't do that.
You need to do it in a Donald voice. I would try, but...
So Donald starts helping him, and Mickey swims up to where the point that I wanted to jump down into. And I asked Mickey, is there any rocks down there? And he says, I wouldn't think about jumping down here, bud. I said, okay. So I look into the distance, into the fucking yard where these containers are, and I see these 3 Xenomorphs. They look like toddler-sized Xenomorphs fighting each other.
They're face huggers.
No, they were full-fledged Xenomorphs, except they were little. And they're fighting each other. One of them's green, one is blue, and the other one's purple. Or was the green one orange? I don't remember. They're fighting each other, and I jump down into the water, and we start swimming over there, and I tell the Disney characters, like, okay, we got to kill these Xenomorphs, because we need to get our ship back into space.
Mickey's gonna stomp some Xenomorph ass.
So, this whole time I'm Karradyne. Remember this.
I am not a valiant warrior by any means.
So, we're swimming towards the dock.
If I see a Xenomorph, I'm going to be running the other way.
We get on the dock, and there's robots all over the fucking dock for some reason.
That makes sense.
And I punch one of the robots with my left hand. I punch it as hard as I can, and I feel like its head just wraps itself around my hand, but kind of like a clasp, like a bear trap. And it just like slams onto my fist. And I said, all right, now they're fucked. And I used that hand just to bash all these robots all the way up till we get to the Xenomorphs. And you see Mickey and Goofy and Donald throwing hands. So they're doing like this Kingdom Hearts bullshit. And we get towards where the fucking Xenomorphs are. And I hit one of them and his head explodes. And then the other two just kind of like start scattering around, and Donald and Goofy go after one, and then Mickey goes after the other one, and I stay behind fighting some robots. And the one robot that had clasped himself around my hand kind of breaks. So I just punch another one with my right hand, and it does the same thing. And I'm like, all right, now they're really fucked, because this is my dominant hand. And somehow the other two die. And we turn around and we look at the ship and we say something along the lines of, all right, now it's time to really get to work so we can get this back in space or something like that. It was kind of a mess what I said. I just made it. I don't even know what the fuck I said.
It was a dream.
It was a fucking mess. And as soon as I finish saying that, my alarm starts ringing. And Karradyne's walking into the room to tell me something. And I'm thinking, it's like, what the fuck kind of shit was that? I want to go back and keep fighting these things.
Meanwhile, it took him until noon to send me a 4-minute long voice message telling me all of this so that I could listen to it on my lunch break. I don't know what kind of crack he did before we went to bed last night, but...
And I think I had some ice cream before bed, so it was probably the sugar.
Probably.
I kind of have weird dreams every time I have sugar before bed.
That rocky road.
Oh, it's so good.
Mm.
So enough dreams, because it's still weird. I'm still trying to piece it all together. Hey, it's our 4th episode.
It is.
We've been on a roll for a month.
Basically a month.
So basically, we've been doing this for almost a month. It's not really a month. It's,
4 weeks.
That's a month in the government's eyes. So we just really want to say thank you for listening this far. Please tell your friends and family to listen, and stay tuned, because at the end of the episode we got an important announcement. But we've been having some issues lately with some freaking
platforms.
Yeah. We're basically on everything. Today there was 2 new platforms that came out, and I signed up for both of them.
What are they called?
I don't remember. One of them is like Rajavan or something like that. And I applied for them, and we got approved like 2 hours later. And I'm still waiting on iHeart and Pandora.
We've been waiting since the beginning.
Since the beginning. It's been 4 weeks, and I haven't heard anything from either Pandora or iHeart saying no or yes. So it's been an annoying time.
It is. So this week, the most exciting thing that happened to me was the iOS 14 update. It's pretty cool. I was stupid and downloaded beta when it first came out because I saw my friend Alan had these cool widgets, and I wanted the cool widgets and wanted to personalize my home screen because, hello, Apple, we couldn't do that until now. So yeah, I downloaded the new update. I had to wipe my phone back to factory settings with beta because I discovered that some of my crucial apps did not work in beta, and guess what? They still don't work. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
It's funny because I saw during the day like some news thing that said there's a bunch of apps having problem with 14.
Did he tell me? No.
I thought maybe I should tell Karradyne. It completely slipped my mind.
That same day, like just a couple hours, probably an hour before he told me this, I installed the update.
And she said, oh, look at all the cool things I can do with 14. I was like, oh no. Check the app. And she checked the app and it didn't work.
And
again.
See, the thing is, he's notorious for believing the fake news that he sees on Facebook. So I was like, no, there's no way that this is still accurate because they've got all the kinks worked out now.
No.
Alas.
So now, for Karradyne to be able to use that app that she needs to use on her phone all the time, she has to carry the iPad around.
I do. It's very frustrating and very bulky. I love my iPad, but I do not like carrying it places.
It's really uncomfortable to carry.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Apart from that, we've really just had a slow week. We've stayed home. We haven't really done much.
Life in quarantine. I mean, We're not quarantined, but, life in Corona.
Without exposing yourself.
Yeah.
We did go to the nice thing that we're going to talk about for Gorbage.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I've been playing a whole shit ton of Mario.
He's
lately.
obsessed with Mario.
I also started Fire Emblem again.
The one you played on the toilet for half an hour? No, it was more than half an hour. It was like 2 hours.
It was like 2
you
hours.
Sat in the bathroom. And this was at the beginning of our relationship, too. He didn't have any fucking shame. He was in there forever.
Just playing Fire Emblem on the 3DS.
Yep.
But I've been playing the Mario collection, so Mario 64 has made me a little bit nostalgic for my old GameCube games. So I went into one of my drawers where I have a lot of crap, and I found a AV to HDMI converter. I hooked it up to the GameCube.
He bitched and complained the whole time.
But I got it working.
I thought he broke something at some point.
That was a cable.
Oh. Well, at least it was just a cable.
Yeah, it just fell, and I was so annoyed. It was actually the Wii U sensor bar. It got caught in the cabling, and it went all the way down to the floor behind the entertainment center. That's why I was moaning and bitching.
Into the abyss.
Into the fucking abyss. But yeah, I got the whole GameCube working. I've been fucking around with some of the old games that I have, and I've been having a real fun time. And I've started playing True Crime Streets of LA, which is this one game that I have a lot of memories with. And I think that after I finish it, we're probably going to talk about it on the podcast. Because this game just reminds me of, like, middle school, summers with my grandma. It was one of the first video games that I bought that actually was like an entire movie experience. So I have a lot of fondness for this game, and it's horrible, and it's bad, and it's a shitty GTA clone, and it's so good.
Speaking of video games, I discovered a video game this week that I want to play.
Oh yeah, tell me about that.
So I may or may not have to support the purchase of a PS5 now, because I saw that trailer for that new Harry Potter game. Harry Potter, who was written by Harry Potter, because we don't talk about anyone else in association with Harry Potter anymore.
I do have some good news about that.
What?
J.K. Rowling is in no way involved in the video game.
Good, because she is digging a grave. Digging a real deep grave all the way to the core of the planet. Anyway, but the game looks epic. Those Dementors look fabulous, and yeah, I really want to play it. Unless it's first person, then I'll throw up.
No, it's not first person,
Okay,
it's third person.
I can play it then.
So that means I'm getting a PlayStation 5. Yay! Alright, so I guess that's it for what we've been doing and what's been going on. So let's go ahead and get into your segment. Are you ready?
I'm not ready.
Why not?
You'll find out soon enough.
Okay, this is Book Talk.
So this week's book is Dune by Frank Herbert. If you think I sound exhausted, that's because this book has drained every fucking iota of energy that I had left in my body. I can't anymore. So it was published in 1965, and it was originally published as 2 separate serials in Analog Magazine. It's apparently a sci-fi magazine that started back in 1930, and according to what I found online, it seems to still be up and running. But I think it might just be digitally. Not totally sure. I didn't get that far, but I did see that it said somewhere September, October 2020 issue. So,
interesting.
Yeah. I decided to torture myself in this way in reading Dune, because when we went to see Tenet, that movie I didn't like that we talked about a couple episodes ago, we saw the trailer of the new Dune movie. And Jason Momoa is my movie boyfriend, so I have to go see the movie. But, as readers are wont to do, I had to read the book first.
So, I don't know what type of genre this is. What genre would you say this is?
Oh, it's definitely sci-fi.
Definitely
Hardcore sci-fi.
So what other books are in the sci-fi genre?
So, the 2 authors that come to mind as being maybe like the most similar to this that I've read are probably Philip K. Dick and Ursula K. Le Guin. Apparently, people in the sci-fi community like the middle initial K. Other than that, I don't really know what's all that similar because I don't fucking know what I even read. It was one of the most dense things I've ever processed in my whole life.
There was just chaos.
I mean, it wasn't chaos. I'd say it was organized chaos, but there was just a lot going on. There was too much detail to the point that I was zoning out and zoning back in and not processing even what I was listening to when I was zoned in. Because I was listening to it on audio, which makes it far easier to zone in and out.
So you kind of had the same experience with this as you did with when you read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream?
I don't even want to talk about that experience. It was painful.
That was such a good book.
It was horrible.
Why? What was so horrible
It was fucked up.
It was.
It was so fucked up. I don't like reading fucked up things.
I thought it was.
It was demented.
It was.
It was wrong. This is just weird. And somewhat boring at times.
I can tell.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the movie basically was the same. But we'll get into that in a moment. But in the beginning, I thought it was really cool that the audiobook had like a whole cast of narrators to make it more of a dramatic production. Kind of like those audiobook things that you listen to on the road.
The
movie in your mind.
Yeah, the movie in your mind. The graphic audio.
Yes, those.
I have the Ant-Man one, and I've been dying for us to listen to it on one of our trips to Georgia, but I always forget to grab it.
See, that's what I thought it was going to be like, because it's even got like these cool wind whipping through the desert sound effects. But the beginning sets you up to think that the whole thing is going to be really cool like that, with this whole cast and the wind whipping. But then the main, fairly boring narrator takes over, and the cast only comes back every once in a while, and seemingly with no purpose or pattern. It's just like, oh, let's bring them back. Not because this is like an important chapter or anything.
But are the rest of the cast, are they characters? Are they actors? Or are they just extra narrators?
They're like, I don't know how to explain this. They're just separate narrators for different characters. So Paul has his own narrator. Jessica has her own narrator. Just so that they have different voices. So that's literally all it is.
Like, and then in the Sand Dunes, there was Paul here. Stuff like that?
No. So during their dialogue, then the other narrators would take charge.
Did they do the whole whisper thing?
God, like they did in the movie?
With the syringe?
I think the boring narrator did the hunter-seeker part. I can't remember. Man, I'm telling you.
Was he whispering?
We got to tell you about this movie.
It was fucking crazy.
We made a big mistake.
Huge
mistake. I mean, so I feel like what I did glean from this book, I must tell you, I had to listen to watch the Thug Notes summary and analysis as soon as I finished. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? So from what I can tell, the 1984 film does pretty closely follow the book. It's just, I feel like it could have been done so much better with much better actors.
Oh, the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought we were talking about the movie.
Oh, we got back into the movie?
Yeah, you were talking about the whispering in the heads.
That movie, ugh.
It was nasty.
It was difficult to go through.
It was weird.
Now, my buddy Edgardo told me about it about a year ago, that he watched the movie. And it took him about 4 tries to finish it. So throughout the span of 2 weeks, he would come in at random days, and we would just start driving. And he would go like, so I watched a little bit of Dune last night. I was like, okay. And he would start telling me about it, and I was like, this sounds so fucking weird and awesome at the same time.
It's not awesome.
I am not sure.
It's not awesome. So there were parts of the book that seemed pretty cool and intriguing to me, like the Sandworms sound pretty badass.
They do.
And the whole bit with Paul and the Reverend Mother was pretty cool. But that was at the very beginning, before I got lost in the sinkhole that is the rest of the book.
My favorite part was
of the movie.
Yeah, was all the talking they did in their heads. it was either like they were talking normally, like they would be having a conversation, it would stop, and they would continue just talking in their heads like at a regular level.
But like the camera would cut to the person that they had been talking to, and then you'd hear them talking again, but then the camera cuts back to them and you find that they're just talking in their head, not to the person. It's a mess.
The other best part was when they started whispering in their heads. It's like, what is the point? Why are you whispering inside your head? The whole scene with the flying syringe that went into his room, he's like, I can't move. I shouldn't move.
The hunter-seeker.
The hunter-seeker is going to find me. If somebody opens the door, it's going to kill them. He's just like whispering the entire fucking time for no reason.
So stupid. And the thing is, I know it read like that in the book. I didn't think it was stupid then. It was just like, oh, that's weird. A flying syringe. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, for all the whispering, the only thing that I can justify it with is that Paul got high off of spice. Just took some fucking spice, pure, unrefined spice, and he just started tripping balls standing in the middle of the room.
Damn spice. I'd love to try some.
If it makes you whisper like that, just looking with your eyes bulging out, count me out.
At one point I said to him, I felt like we were watching The Room, but in space.
That would have been so much better.
It was so awkward.
Can you imagine, what's his name? What's the main actor of The Room?
Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau. He just goes into the room, it's like, oh, hi, Paul.
That would be wonderful.
It would be.
But back to the book, it just seemed like a lot was going on, but none of it was exciting goings on, and it did nothing to hold my attention, except those sandworms. Like I said, they were pretty freaking badass. But I can appreciate the mind of Herbert and all these peoples and places and things that he envisioned and brought to life, but still not entirely sure that it was entertaining.
I mean, it was, at least the movie, it was kind of entertaining. I did have a lot of fun making fun of it. I wish you wouldn't have been so grossed out by it.
I was so grossed out, especially the Baron. That was disgusting.
I wish you wouldn't have been so grossed out so we could both have made fun of it.
And there were eyeball things. I have an eyeball thing. I can't.
Yeah, there were.
I can't.
That lady had like some suction cups in her
Nope,
eyeballs or
nope,
something.
no. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. But we did think it was pretty cool that we recognized some actors.
I recognized 2.
I recognized a handful.
Who was your
My
number
one? My number one. I don't know his name, but he plays Grima Wormtongue in The Lord of the Rings, specifically Two Towers and Return of the King.
So, because you were happy to see Grima, I kind of felt the same way when I saw Sting.
Sting.
He looked crazy.
This is Sting. You've seen him before.
You love that meme way too much.
I love that meme so much. It gives me life.
I love the face Gollum is making in that meme. He looks so
It's
happy
perfect.
to see the police.
It's the face that he's making when he's having that internal like monologue with himself between Smeagol and Gollum. Go away and never come back. And he looks so happy, finally ridding himself of Gollum. Poor Smeagol.
We're gonna take that meme and we're gonna put it in the show.
It's the best meme
in the show
ever.
pictures. The only thing I didn't like about seeing Sting, even though it was really cool seeing him and seeing him kind of crazy and weird,
In a spacesuit.
is that we didn't see any Sting wiener.
There doesn't have to be wiener every time. Just
Are you
because there
sure?
was wiener in the first book. And
the vampires did have,
only a little.
yeah.
Minimal. But
But
yeah. No.
it's
that-
literary. Shouldn't literary stuff have some type of penis in it?
I don't think sci-fi is normally one to have a lot of penis. Sometimes, but I don't think it appears as often there.
Interesting. I have been lied to then.
Shame.
So, anything else you want to say about the book before we get your rating?
I don't really know what I read, and I feel like I'm not the best person to ask for opinions. on Dune.
It was a loopy ass fucking movie.
Yes. If we try to sit down and finish this movie, I'm going to need to be drunk as fuck.
I'll join you. So let's just get down to it. What would you rate the book?
So, I give Dune a very unstable 3-star rating. It was not a flaming dumpster fire. I don't think.
The movie kind of was.
Yes, it was. I'm not really sure, though. I feel unfair giving it anything less than 3, though, because I'm not sure.
So, when in doubt, 3 stars.
Yes.
Okay, that can work. All right, so let's go ahead and get into games and stuff. So for this week's game, I almost said Dick's Week's games.
You got the dick on the brain.
Man, so much wiener
I
in my
need to
mind.
read another romance novel.
So for this week's games, we got Captain Toad Tresure Tracker. This game was originally released for the Wii U on December 5th, 2014. 14. God, is it late? I am tired. It received a release on the Switch and 3DS on July 13th, 2018.
Why did they wait so long?
It's because the Wii U really didn't do good at all. It was a massive failure, and it had a shit ton of really good games, and they've been slowly porting them over onto the Switch.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so we got Captain Toad in July 13th. Later on in October, we're getting the port of Pikmin 3, which I'm excited as all hell about because I fucking love Pikmin.
Yes, he is obsessed with Pikmin. He has a creepy Pikmin that watches over us while we sleep.
Oh, it's the water Pikmin.
He's scary.
He is adorable.
He's scary.
He is adorable.
I don't care what you say.
So it is an action puzzle game in which you control a toad and you have to collect power stars and gems. You walk in a 3D diorama-like landscape suspended in midair in which there are enemies and coins. You also have a fixed camera outside of this diorama that is fixed on Toad as well.
That camera drove me nuts.
You can turn around the camera and zoom in, but depending on your angle, your view can be blocked by the things inside the diorama.
Exactly.
I also forgot to say, Karradyne helped me with this game. She did play it a little bit on the 3DS.
I don't know that I helped you.
Yeah, you gave me some opinions and stuff. And she says that she hated it, but I think that she secretly loved it.
I did not hate it. It just drove me nuts. It was infuriating.
It is infuriating. Sometimes. I think it's infuriating more because it gets boring a little bit. But that's just me. I'll get into that a little bit more in a little bit. The graphics of this game have the classic Mario on the Nintendo Switch look. They're sharp, colorful, and filled with personality. So if you've played any type of Mario game on the Switch, you know exactly what you're going to get. Except if you play the 3D collection. Those do not look like anything on the Switch. Those look out of place. The animation in the game is pretty decent. There's nothing crazy to write home about. And they'd be exactly what you'd expect from a Mario game.
It felt like all the other Mario games I've played in the past.
Yeah, I can get behind that. The sound design of the game is wow. The music is completely forgettable. None of the tracks stood out to me, and for the rest of it, you have the typical Mario sounds for one-ups, mushrooms, collecting coins, jumping on enemies, all that type of crap. It's kind of disappointing that apart from, the intro song, which is that whistle thing, march song that it has, there's really nothing that stands out.
I don't even remember that part.
It was like ba 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 ba.
Like every other Mario game. Sort of.
So,
more sound makes me think of Mario.
So the gameplay is fun as hell. It has small stages where you need to use your brain a little bit.
A lot bit.
To solve some simple puzzles. You have a 2-hit life system where Toad shrinks after being hit once and dying after being hit the second time.
I died so many times at the hands of the Shy Guys.
Don't worry about it. While I was finishing this game, I died a lot to a point where in like 3 stages I got the invincibility mushroom just so I could pass them. You have to collect 3 gems as well as complete a single objective specific to the stage, like not being hit, collecting a certain amount of coins, or collecting a golden mushroom. You only have to do those if you want to go for the completion points. They're not really necessary. Basically, all you need to do is collect the stars just to pass the stage. But they encourage you to collect as many gems as possible since there are some stages that are locked behind gems. The problems with the game, after completing a few stages, this game gets boring. I had to put it down and come back to it just to finish the story, and it has taken me since it released to finish the story.
You've been playing this game since 2018?
Yeah.
How have I not noticed?
Because I pick it up, play a little bit,
put it down.
Like, I play so little of it when I pick it up that you don't even notice.
Why did you think this would be a good choice for me if it's taken you so long?
Because it's simple, it's easy to get into.
It's got a book in it.
Yeah, it does have a book in it.
It does.
It actually has 3 books and then 2 more books after you finish the story in it.
That's cute.
It is adorable. Another thing that's pretty cool about it is that once you're playing, after you beat certain stages, like a little letter will come down and it'll float and wedge itself inside one of the pages. So you would go back into the pages and go into that letter, and it would give you like a special bonus mission where you would get more hearts, get more lives, or get more gems, stuff like that. It's
cute.
Very, very cute. It's adorable. So basically I just found it really boring after, completing a few stages. I could only take so much. The prices, this game has a lot of end game content. This game has a lot for you to do after you're done. So after you beat the main 3 books in the game, a special Odyssey book opens up where you can play stages inspired by Mario Odyssey. So that was kind of one of the biggest selling points for the game when it was re-released. It's not just, hey, here's the same game. It's, hey, here's the game, plus here's some stages that'll remind you of when you played Mario Odyssey a year ago.
Interesting.
Which, that Mario Odyssey game is so good. I think that's my favorite Mario game. It is really, really good. Apart from that, there are special stages that unlock after beating the first book, and these are a ton of fun.
Didn't make it that far.
No, but you're like three stages away from beating that first book. You actually got pretty far into it.
I did? I think I only did did I do 7 stages? I skipped 1.
No, you did 8.
I did 8?
You did 8.
I said I did 7 because I skipped 1.
I think the first book is 13 stages.
Oh.
So basically, the end of the game is a huge go play Mario Odyssey, which, like I said, if you haven't done it, go do it. It's fucking awesome. It's so good. And overall, this is a very fun action puzzle game where you don't really need to use your brain all that much, and you have a lot of endgame content. And since it's $40, it's worth it.
That's not too bad.
No, it's pretty good. So I give this game a 4.5.
I mean, yeah, could take away the 0.5 for it being infuriating.
Like I said, Karradyne said that she hated it.
I didn't hate it. It pissed me off.
She was complaining the entire time she was playing it. But then I put mine down. I said, hey, it's time to go to bed.
Be my guest.
She just wanted to keep playing. So I just sat next to her and I watched her play the game until she got pissed and turned it off.
I mean, I'm a perfectionist.
Just go back to it later on. You'll have fun.
Maybe.
So, that's it for my part. So I guess it's time for our favorite part. You know what that is?
Give me the garbage.
All right, that is Gimme the Garbage.
This week's restaurant is the Cloak and Blaster. If you've never heard of that, it's likely because it is local to Orlando. It's a gaming pub and kitchen, and it's probably one of the coolest fucking places I have ever been.
I've only been there once before this brunch that we went to have, and I spent all my time upstairs in the gaming lounge. and I've only ever really eaten the tater tots and the Lannister burger.
What's on the Lannister burger again?
Lannister burger is a juicy burger patty with peanut butter, applewood smoked bacon, cheddar cheese on a Bavarian pretzel bun.
He is obsessed with peanut butter burgers.
They are the best thing ever.
I don't see the appeal.
Okay, imagine a steak burger. Instead of regular ground chuck, you have steak meat, let's say sirloin.
Uh-huh.
You put a little bit of peanut butter on the bun,
Mm-hmm.
you throw some steak sauce, some caramelized onion in it, and then you eat that shit.
It sounds disgusting.
It is the most delicious thing on this planet. It
More
is
for
so
you.
good. I'll eat all of them. I don't care.
Okay.
Fight me.
Okay. So yeah, they have really cool decor. There is this whole freaking wall that is covered in. It's not even a movie poster. It's like a tarp or a what's the word I'm looking for? It's failing me. Like a tapestry of Bilbo and the dwarves and Gandalf in Bilbo's house, feasting before they go on the adventure. And it just gives me all of the happy vibes. They have a really fun themed menu. All of the food and drink items are themed to a nerd tune.
So cool. Like everything. If you're into any sort of pop culture, you're probably going to recognize something on the menu.
Because it's not just dorky stuff. They're like office themed things. One of the things that sticks out to me the most that I wanted to try, even though it didn't sound all that good, was the Ron Swanson. Because it was a drink with like a slice of bacon in it.
That sounds awesome.
Right? I just feel like whatever the drink wasn't appealing, but I wanted it because bacon.
An old fashioned with bacon?
Probably.
That would be awesome.
That would be a total Ron Swanson.
Yeah, it would.
So yeah, they've got something for all of us nerds, not just, like D&D, Lord of the Rings nerds. Not that I'm a D&D nerd, but I feel like I might get grouped with that group.
I think if you gave it a try,
I would probably be into it.
Yeah, you'd probably also be into Dragon Age.
What's that one? I don't even really know what Dungeons and Dragons is, so we don't have to get into that. It'll take all night. So we specifically went to the Cloak and Blaster for their exclusive Hobbiton Brunch. This is not something that they do all the time.
No.
It was, I didn't even put two and two together, but I'm assuming it was because Hobbit Day was this week. We're recording on the 23rd. It was yesterday on the 22nd.
Really?
Yes, it's Bilbo and Frodo's birthday. They have the same birthday.
Oh, so that's what I was seeing all over Facebook.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
They had a whole celebration in Hobbiton in New Zealand, and one day we're going to go.
Yes, we are.
So please support our podcast because we have to go to New Zealand. So anyway, we went to this Hobbiton brunch, and they served breakfast, second breakfast, elevensies, luncheon, and afternoon tea. Now, for breakfast, we both had lembas bread.
Oh my god.
It was so good. It was sweet, but also very crumbly.
The lembas bread was not what I expected.
Me either.
I expected something like naan or pita style bread.
I was not expecting that, but it was whatever I was expecting. This was not it.
It was very crumbly. I wish it would have held together a bit more, but it was still pretty fucking delicious.
Yeah, it was very tasty.
You know what else I also thought it could have been like?
What?
You remember the nafi that I bought from that lady, the Middle Eastern pastries?
Yeah.
The one with the cheese on top?
Yes.
I thought it was going to be something like that. Maybe a little bit cornbready.
Thinner.
But it was still really good. It was kind of like a sugar cookie mixed with bread, but better.
Yeah, it was like a bready graham cracker sort of.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
more crumbly.
Yeah.
But it was still very, very tasty. The crumbliness was worth it.
And that sweet butter that it had with it.
Yes, it was delicious. My only critique there was that I wish it had been served warm and that butter had just like melted into it. Oh, but it was still so good.
It was so. I don't care. I wanted to lick that butter off the container. It was so damn good.
And it was so cute because they served it on these green plates that looked kind of like leaves. So it was like the wrapper. I was in heaven.
That was pretty clever.
I loved it.
I didn't put two and two together until now.
I expected them to come out wrapped in the paper. And then when they didn't, I was like, oh, well, this works.
I mean, if it does.
So here's where things got just a little bit weird for me, but only because I'm a little bit of a Lord of the Rings maniac.
I don't care.
He likes it, though. This is the only thing that we both really, really, really like.
We both really, really, really like Five Finger Death Punch and Metallica.
Well, yeah, but
And Marvel movies.
I feel like...
And Star Wars.
So with Lord of the Rings, it's me who loves it just a little bit more.
That's true.
And with the music, it's you who loves it just a little bit more. But we both love it.
I'm still so sad about Rockville.
And I still have to watch episode 6.
Yes,
you forget this.
You do.
My call center manager keeps asking me if I've watched The Mandalorian yet. He literally asked me today again. No, Tim, not yet. I'm getting there. Be patient. Okay. No, don't hate me. I had only not seen the original trilogy.
Yeah.
In Star Wars.
Yeah, because we started with the prequels.
Yes.
And every once in a while you were like, I remember this.
My dad took us to see those when they were in theaters because he knew we enjoyed The Lord of the Rings. So he was like, oh, they like Lord of the Rings. I'm going to take them to see Star Wars. He took us. We thought we were going to go see a Lord of the Rings movie. And then what the fuck is this? They're in space. What is this?
Oh, hi, Pa.
At least it was not that space movie. Oh, man. No. Okay.
Oh, something that I forgot to talk about from Dune.
No.
Yes.
What?
El perrito.
Oh, Lord. The damn pug.
It was so cute.
Patrick Stewart holding the pug.
And going into war. That shit was awesome. And that perrito has some nice orejita.
I love. What did any of this mean?
It's like the nice dog. that cute doggy had some really nice ears.
Oh, yes.
They were so floppy.
They were lovely floppy ears.
I love pugs.
Bless him.
I love pugs so much.
So anyway, back to our brunch. So, I'm Lord of the Rings maniac. Even though the food was split into like these specific Hobbit meals that I mentioned all the way up to afternoon tea, they were not served in the order that they should have been if we're going for authenticity.
Here we go.
Breakfast was paired with elevensies, and second breakfast was paired with luncheon. They just crisscross applesauce, all that shit.
And there we went.
So, for elevensies, right after my breakfast, instead of second breakfast, I had avocado toast, and Chris had oatmeal with toppings.
That avocado toast
was bomb.
Yeah.
It was amazing. The avocado was super fresh. It also had tomatoes and like a balsamic
vinaigrette.
Balsamic vinaigrette.
Now it's the Puerto Rican saying the words right.
Oh, shut up. And then I think it was on like a pumpernickel with oats. It was toasted perfectly. It was very tasty, very crunchy. Even though there was a lot of topping on this toast, it didn't get soggy.
No,
I was
crunchy.
blown away. I mean, 4 massive slices.
My favorite part about that avocado toast was the crust. It was so crunchy. It was crunchier than the rest of it, but it wasn't in a crunchy way that it would fuck up your teeth or gums.
It was perfect.
And I love the way that I didn't write this down, but I love the way that the pumpernickel and the avocado played together. It was so good.
It was a perfect marriage.
And it had the tomatoes on top and the
now
balsamic,
you don't know the word anymore.
The balsamic vinaigrette. They were the perfect level of acid to cut through the fat in the avocado.
I think I would have added just a touch more vinaigrette. Just a touch.
I think it was perfect because it was amazing. It wasn't swimming in it. It wasn't overpowered. And once you took a bite of it, it didn't just taste like one thing. You could taste everything. You could taste the actual tomatoes. You could taste the vinaigrette, the avocado, and the toast all by themselves.
That's true. Very true. And even though it was incredibly tasty, Chris had to eat my last slice. We went into this thing thinking
They gave you like 6 slices of toast.
it was 4, but they
It
were
was
big.
It was 4, and they were cut in half.
They were massive.
They were huge.
But we went into this thing thinking that we were going to leave hungry.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Before we got there, I told Karen, I was like, hey, we're probably going to have to split a Lannister because I don't think this is going to be enough.
Because, I mean, just the descriptions, it just sounded like tapas, really.
Yeah, I mean, if you hear avocado toast, you really just think like 2 slices of toast and that's it.
And I'm thinking like flimsy bread, like Wonder Bread or something. I don't know.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, they went all out.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But yeah, he got the oatmeal.
Oh my God. That oatmeal. You want to talk about what you thought about the oatmeal first before I bite down into it?
It was so tasty and full of texture and flavor. It was like perfectly warm and gooey, but also chewy and crunchy. It was awesome.
I have never, ever had oatmeal like this before.
And he eats oatmeal somewhat often.
For breakfast, because it's an easy breakfast, and I'm an old man
He
at
is.
heart.
Meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes,
Ron
oatmeal.
Swanson.
I think the most millennial thing that I would eat would be a parfait, but it's still just oats, fruits, and yogurt.
Exactly.
So
Basically oatmeal.
But yeah, this thing had so much texture. It had like five or 4 layers of texture.
It was crazy.
It had 2 types of crunch, 1 type of chewy, and all that creaminess of the oatmeal. It had a very crunchy granola on top. Underneath it, it had a layer of softly bruleed sugar. And it had dried fruits mixed into the granola. So, oh my God.
There was so much going on.
When you thought you didn't have any crunch because you didn't pick up any granola, no, you had crunchy sugar. It was wow. And the portion, like I think I was ready to call it quits after that because
I was definitely ready to call it quits after my toast.
the size of that oatmeal was about normal of what I would eat for breakfast before I go into work.
Mm-hmm.
So I was done.
It was massive. Okay, so then for second breakfast, I had eggs and sausage patties. And Chris had a Scotch egg. So my sausage patties were very thick and flavorful. The eggs were definitely real eggs and seasoned very well. I've had a bit of an aversion to eggs ever since an unfortunate food poisoning incident. I can handle them in my pho, as we discussed in the first episode. But other than that, I don't like to think about eggs. I know it wasn't the eggs, but I ate the eggs right before it happened. And that's all I think about now.
It was the salsa on the eggs.
You don't even know that, but...
We should go to that place
and
rip their assholes a new one.
I am never. That was the only time I have ever eaten at that establishment.
You want to say the name?
No. That is the only fucking time I will ever darken their door.
It's like...
No.
It's like calling Voldemort every time.
Voldemort? Yeah. Who the fuck is that?
That fucking guy from Harry Potter.
Voldemort.
Whatever.
Technically, it should have been pronounced Voldemort. But so, we won't talk about that bitch and what she wanted.
If you say the name of the restaurant 3 times, that's another plate of that omelet with that damn sauce fall into your lap. Is that why you won't say the name?
We're not going to talk about it. Anyway.
The eggs on the eggs and sausage patty, they were really good. That's the only thing I got to try. And
yeah, because I ate all the sausage patties before I even thought to let him taste them.
It's fine.
They were delicious.
The eggs were really, really good.
I didn't get to finish the eggs because finishing the sausage patties was a real accomplishment after all that toast. And I didn't even finish my toast. The only thing I finished by myself was the limbus.
Yeah,
and the drinks.
And the drinks. So I had the Scotch egg.
Oh!
I honestly had no idea what the hell a Scotch egg was.
Neither did I.
I was picturing a soft-boiled egg for some reason.
Nope.
I kept looking at the waiter when he was coming over, and I was like, where the fuck is my Scotch egg? Because I thought it was going to come in one of those little egg goblets where you break the egg and just eat it out of the shell. But no. It's like, okay, what is it? And then he puts down like this giant ass meatball.
It looked kind of like an owl pellet. It's like, what the fuck is that pile of dung?
But it was a hard-boiled egg encased in breakfast sausage that was deep fried.
And covered in some kind of crack sauce. It was
That
so good.
sauce, I have no idea what the fuck that sauce was. It was it had a little bit of a mustardy taste and a little bit of a citrusy taste, but none of the flavors were too strong or powerful. I couldn't really tell them apart.
It was pretty light.
Plus, the sausage was so moist and so flavorful.
My sausage patties were very moist
that there was no way of telling what it was because it was just so good. And the egg was perfectly boiled and encased in that sausage. I mean, you'd think if it's a hard-boiled egg, okay, it's cooked. You deep fry it. Okay, now it's overcooked. No, it was perfectly fine. Like I could cut through the whole thing. I could chew the whole thing. Like it had the perfect consistency. And I really like that I would press the sausage and juices would come out of it. So it's not like it was dried out. You would think, if it's fried sausage, it's pork, it's going to dry out if you fry it. But no, it was so fucking good that I think this is one of my favorite top ways of eating an egg now. Number one is going to still always be sunny side up.
I wish I had not been so full so I could have tasted more of it because I only had a teeny tiny little bite, but it was so yummy.
It was really yummy.
So yummy. So then for luncheon, which was served with our, whatever the hell this was, our second breakfast, so our eggs and meat, I had tater tots, and Chris had some home fries, but I personally think that they missed out on a whole opportunity here in not just theming this whole portion as potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Anyone? Yes?
Maybe.
It's like scrimp.
So the tater tots, these are the best, most perfect tater tots I've ever had in my entire life.
Crispy perfection.
A little bit of a story with the tater tots. The first time that I went to the Cloak and Blaster was with Logan and Alex.
Logan! We also have to give Logan a shout out because he is the only reason we would even know about this place.
That's true. So they're Karradyne's co-workers.
Yes.
Logan was a co-worker.
I wish he were still a co-worker.
I miss them so much.
I do too. Well, I mean, I see Alex almost every day, but I miss Logan.
So because Logan is a vegan, we could only eat not meat stuff. So we could only really have the tater tots or French fries. So we just decided to have the tater tots.
Because, I mean, obviously, if you have the option between fries and tater tots, you're going to fucking choose tater tot.
I wouldn't have before having these.
What? They're the best tater tots ever.
These tater tots are so perfect. We had 4 baskets before we even thought about ordering food.
I'm not surprised.
And then the home fries, they were good. My opinion, they needed a little bit of salt. But the mix of red peppers and onions gave it a pretty good taste.
It's the time of the Rona, so there's no salt on the table anymore.
Yeah.
Fine. We didn't need it.
Yeah, no. Everything was awesome.
Mm-hmm. So then, let's see here. For afternoon tea, we had the option of tea or coffee with some little coffee cakes. I mean, they weren't coffee cake, but I guess they were coffee cakes.
Yeah, I had a blueberry and then OnlyFans cake. They were not good.
They brought the cakes out in to-go containers because we're falling out of our chairs from how stuffed we are at this point. And on his container they wrote OF for old-fashioned
OnlyFans cake.
And he sees it and he looks at it. He's like, oh look, they gave me OnlyFans cake. I swear, I can't take him anywhere.
If it's not cursing in front of a pastor.
Oh my God.
Cakes, OnlyFans cakes.
I'm gonna need you to tone down the F-bomb in public.
Why? Children need to learn it.
No. Anyway, I had English breakfast tea, which is wonderful as always. I got the blueberry and apple cakes. I was stuffed. Didn't even try to eat mine before we left. I ate them much later in the day. The apple was not bad. The blueberry,
I wish I would have gotten an apple instead of a blueberry.
It was pretty moist. It wasn't as crumbly and crappy as the blueberry.
The old fashioned, it had a pretty good topping. I would say the whole topping part was really decent and good. My problem was with the inside. It was kind of dense and crumbly at the same time. I don't know how you can do that.
I have no idea.
But it wasn't bad. It's just...
It was a somewhat underwhelming finish, but everything else was so good that it
'cause
didn't even matter.
After following all that amazing food,
But
it's
it was
like falling on a flat note.
It was almost too like they knew that we were going to be full as fuck, and it didn't matter what they gave us at the end because we weren't going to eat it anyway.
I guess that's fair. And honestly, I thought we weren't gonna have a crazy good meal like we did.
It was amazing.
Because I thought this was just a pub bar, and they just had like a cook back there or somebody that was just flinging burgers. No, this person is a whole ass chef. It's not a half-ass chef. It's a whole ass chef.
They belong in the Food Network stars.
Jesus Christ, this person can cook.
Go to Flavortown, baby. Win you some money. It was delicious.
Got the Ariel up in that bitch. That's our next diner, drive-ins and dives from Orlando. It's gonna be the Cloak and Blaster.
Can you imagine that bleached out hair just bobbing along through Middle Earth? He'd be a hobbit for sure. Oh man. Anyway.
You know that if that man went in there, he would get swarmed. Because nerds love Guy Fieri.
Yes.
Everybody fucking loves Guy Fieri.
I don't know what it is about him. He's just so charismatic. Anyway, so our brunch included our brunch included 2 drinks from the bar. So we both got the same drinks. We both had an elderflower lemonade. And we both had traditional mimosas. I would like to argue that these were not traditional in any way, shape, or form.
No, I wish I would have gotten just the elderflower lemonade, because that shit was delicious.
It was awesome.
It paired perfectly with everything in the meal.
Mm-hmm. It was very fresh.
The mimosas were okay.
They were made with tang.
With passion fruit tang.
I need some real-ass orange juice in my mimosa.
No, the thing is...
Or pineapple juice, not tang.
I don't hate tang, because this whole past week, you can ask Karradyne, I've been drinking a lot of Kool-Aid.
It's weird.
But that tang taste is so unmistakable. You can put it anywhere and try to hide it, and it's not going to work. It's just like you can pick up weed in a crowd. Know somebody's smoking weed because that smell is unmistakable. So, what do you think we should rate this meal?
Despite the teeny tiny miscomings with the cake.
Which was a blip.
And the mimosa.
Which was another blip.
Definitely garbage.
All right. So, we have our second garbage in the entire show.
Yes.
Yeah, Cloak and Blaster. Make sure you guys go visit them if you're in Orlando. God, is it late.
If they ever host this brunch again, like maybe next year for Hobbit Day, if they did it again, highly recommend.
If they do it again, we should probably post it on our social medias to let people know. But this shit actually sold out.
Did it?
It did.
Oh, I didn't even look.
Yeah, no.
I mean, as soon as I saw it, I signed up.
You didn't even think about it.
Nope. Didn't second guess anything. Nope.
Yeah, the garbage. Place was awesome. Food was great. So, yeah. Cloak and Blaster. So, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of housekeeping. I know that I teased at the beginning that we had some news. We do have some news. First thing that we want to talk about is our Patreon. I think we're going to be going live in a few weeks. We'll give away our favorite game and book for the month. We'll hold polls for books and games to talk about on the show.
There might even be extra book giveaways because we have a lot of books.
That's true. And I think we'll also have 2 episodes a month for Patreon supporters that you will only be able to find and download from there. Those are not going to be typical episodes. Those will probably be, I don't know, maybe a discussion or maybe just us telling stories or being stupid on a microphone.
We're always being stupid on a microphone.
Because we have microphones that I bought for cheap. And the second announcement is that next month it's a spoopy month.
Yay!
Ooh, skeletons.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
So we're going to be in the spirits of it, even though I really don't care for Halloween.
I love Halloween.
We'll still talk about scary books and games, and we're probably going to talk about some very, very, very scary food. Burger King.
I don't like Burger King.
Well, too bad you have to do it for the show.
You like Burger King, so that's not fair.
I like the cheeseburgers.
Oh my god.
The dollar cheeseburgers. But yeah, so that's it for this week's episode. Remember to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, @ANovelConsole. You can also find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. Make sure you tell your friends that we're on most platforms where you can find podcasts, except for
Pandora and
iHeart. And just go ahead and give us 5 stars when you go on Google Play or Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show. We can climb up the charts. More people can follow us, listen to us, laugh at us. And it's a real good time. You can also listen on YouTube by searching for A Novel Console. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. I didn't get stuck.
You said subscribe.
Subscribe. At least it was a subscribe.
Yep.
Subscribe.
It was somewhat intelligible.
Subscribe. And you can also email us at anovelconsole@gmail.com.
You did it!
Again! Yay!
Woo!
And we will read your email on the show. We promise not to make fun of you. We will talk about whatever you want to talk about. You can give us your opinion on whatever the hell you want to give us your opinion on. We will read it on the show. And it'll be a good, fun time. And also remember, our art was done by Metamorphic on Instagram. And that's it for this week. You want to say goodbye to everybody, Karradyne? You.
What? He can say subscribe and vinaigrette, but he can't say my name.
I've been having trouble with your name in the past hour.
Oh, Mama, why'd you have to give me such a hard name? Jesus Christ. Yes, goodbye, Karradyne.
All right, goodbye, everybody.